Servus zusammen. No, I still really like the Parasites, but let's be honest with ourselves. The game has quite a few rough edges. And while it's true that it's still in development and things might change, the current state already reveals a clear concept and direction. So I thought, why not talk about what's working, what's not, and what could be improved? This is not about trashing the game, quite the opposite. I want to offer constructive feedback and ideas that might actually inspire change. And who knows, maybe Evgeny the developer stumble across the video and take some of its heart. Let's dive into what I think is the biggest issue right now. Survival isn't really survival. Let's talk about survival, because right now it's way too easy. You're never really struggling for food or water. You find mushrooms and berries literally everywhere. Totems spit out food regularly, and even regular suitcases are filled with snacks. One deer can feed you for days, and the kicker? Food never spoils. That makes one of the core survival mechanics, gardening, almost completely irrelevant. Why build a farm when you can collect enough to feed an army in under a minute? Compare that to Project Zomboid. Eating a can of beans barely keeps you alive, and the seasons add real pressure. In winter, good luck fishing or growing anything. In real world, you'll often have one colonist dedicated entirely to keeping everyone fed. Because if you sleep up, your base collapses. Drinking is a bit better in the Parasites, thanks to the water boiling system and collectible glass bottles. That's a mechanic worth keeping, but soda cans? They're everywhere. I'd suggest dramatically reducing their spawn rate to maintain the incentive of proper water collection and purification. Alcohol is overpowered. Let's talk about alcohol. Right now, it's like a magical Swiss army knife. Removes radiation, improves mood, rehydrates you, can be turned into Molotovs, leaves behind a glass bottle. All of that from one item.
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
And it's not hard to find. Wouldn't it be more rewarding if you had to actually brew it yourself? Imagine building a distillery, growing hops, and fermenting your own drinks. That would not only balance things out, but also add a cool, immersive gameplay loop for the mid and late game. Injuries, illness, and the lack of consequences. Combat in the Parasites is fun. Enemies are aggressive, and they do feel like a threat, especially early on. But the injuries you receive, they are often just a minor inconvenience. Bleeding? Just slap on a cheap bandage. Boom, done. Broken bones? A splint and you're sprinting like nothing happened. Calls? Take a pill, forget about it. There's no sense of danger behind these mechanics. Contrast this with games like Green Hell or RimWorld again, where even a minor infection can snowball into death. In the Parasites, the only real threat is food poisoning, and even that's easily neutralized with activated carbon. These systems need more depth and consequences. Imagine if untreated wounds risked infection, or if illness symptoms lasted longer, forcing you to rest and manage your recovery. That would add real tension and force better resource planning. Where's the long-term motivation? Now, this is a big one. Once your base is built, there's not much else to do. Sure, you can set personal goals, like finding the horse or searching every weapon case, but after a few playthroughs, those objectives become routine. The world isn't large or dynamic enough to encourage exploration over time. The sandbox format isn't the problem. Games like Minecraft and Zomboid thrive into it, but they also offer layers of content, progression, and systems that interact in surprising ways. The Parasites needs more of this. Ideas for more long-term gameplay. Here are a few systems that could help the game go from short-lived sandbox to long-term obsession. Weapon case respawns. Currently, once you've looted a case, it's gone forever. That means if you miss that M4A4 or flashlight, tough luck. Let weapon cases respawn every 10 days or so. players would have a reason to explore again and again. World progression and scaling difficulty. Introduce evolving threats. Over time, stronger enemies start spawning, maybe even new hazards, mutations or factions. The world will feel alive and ever-changing. Base raids, ambushes. Imagine your base being attacked like in the forest. Suddenly all those traps have a purpose. Defending your base becomes a real challenge and your fortifications are tested. That's the kind of emergent gameplay that keeps players hooked. High-risk zones. The world will be divided into difficulty zones. You start in a relatively safe area, but better loot, like the unique hammer, is guarded by tougher enemies. Like a behemoth, high risk, high reward. That's a survival gaming 101. More complex buildings equals more motivation. One thing I love, the horn smelter. It requires diverse resources from all across the map. It's not just chop trees until your fingers bleed. You're hunting slaves, collecting clay, forging blacksmith ware. It's creative and motivating. We need more of that. Complex buildings with unique functions. Like a better generator that's actually better than 2 long branches on a solar panel. Reward players for going the extra mile with meaningful upgrades. Same goes for crafting. Let us brew alcohol, make our own antibiotics, or craft clothing from scratch. Currently you find too much gear in suitcases, making crafting feel secondary. That balance needs shifting. Weapons, more variety, more strategy. Melee combat is okay, but ultimately it comes down to spear or hammer. Most other weapons feel like rare skins. In fact, your fists often deal more effective damage because of their speed. There's so much untapped potential here. Why not give the knife faster attack speed or crit chance? Make weapons have distinct strengths and weaknesses. Let players build new weapons using animal parts or rare resources. Guns are more exciting, but again, if you can't find the cases, you won't find the guns. So all that cool ammo and those mods, useless. Weapon response will fix it instantly. Companions, love the idea, needs tweaks. Companions in the Parasite are a great idea. The wolf is fun, though it tends to vanish mysteriously. The slave is, well, kind of fragile. Let's be real, he dies to a falling tree more often than not. Maybe let gear or armor improve his survivability. The horse is also a brilliant addition. Great sense of reward once you heal it. But once you unlock the wings at the totem, the horse becomes completely obsolete. Maybe make the wings a cheat-only item, or nerf them significantly so the horse remains useful. Inventory management, glorious chaos. You can't talk about the Parasites without mentioning the inventory system. Packing containers inside containers sounds awesome, in theory, and it is to a point, but it gets chaotic fast. You lose track of where anything is. Still, I'll give credit where it's due. The dev announced changes to the system are on the way, so I'll leave the topic for a future video. Conclusion. So those are my thoughts on where the Parasites currently stands, and where it could go. This game has tremendous potential. The foundation is already solid, it just needs more systems that reward long-term play, more challenges that create tension, and more depth in the core mechanics like survival, crafting, and combat. But hey, maybe I missed something. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments, and maybe, just maybe, Evgeny will see this video and take a few of these ideas into account. Thanks so much for watching and good luck out there. Stay alive and stay curious.